Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable beach themed wind spinner. Whether you're a beginner or just looking for a fun crochet project, I'll walk you through it step by step. So let's get started. So what you're going to need is 4 shades of yarn. They all need to be the same weight, of course. Today I am using Yarn Art Jeans. It's 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. It is a weight 2 and it calls for a 3.5mm hook, but I'm going to be using a 3mm hook. I always size down hook sizes when I make wind spinners. So for example, if you are using a worsted weight yarn, which is a weight 4, you will drop down to a 4mm hook. That's the hook size I use for my worsted weight wind spinners. So you'll need 4 shades. I've got white here, this taupey tan color, a light blue, and then an off-white linen color. These are optional. You can add the wooden beads like I do if you want. You don't need them, it's not necessary. To hang the wind spinner, I like to use these swivel clips, and I will link them down below in the description. You get about 10 of them for $6 or $7 on Amazon. You will need some scissors and a yarn needle. We're going to begin with our sand color. So to begin, you're going to start with a slip knot. Place that on your hook, and then you're going to chain 65. So I have a chain of 65. You can chain longer if you'd like. You will just end up with a longer wind spinner. I just happen to like the size that I get from chaining 65. So for the first row, you're going to make 2 half double crochet into each stitch. You're going to skip the first stitch closest to your hook. You're going to go into the second, make 2 half double crochet, and continue making 2 half double crochet in each stitch all the way down. Okay, I have completed my first row and we're going to fasten off. So you're just going to chain 1, grab your scissors, cut, leave a little bit of a tail. For every row that we do, we are going to attach the new color to the first stitch of the previous row made so that all of our stitches are facing the same way. If you don't want to do that, you can definitely crochet back and forth like you normally would crochet. So we're moving on to the blue color. So for row 2, you're going to start again with a slip knot. Place that on your hook and then find the first stitch from the first row. Insert your hook into it and pull up that loop and then pull it through the loop on your hook and chain 1. Now this row is all double crochet. So in the first stitch where you just connected your yarn, you're going to make a double crochet. And then in the next stitch, you will make 2 double crochet. In the next stitch, you will make 1 double crochet. And then in the next, you will make 2. And you're just going to continue that pattern all the way down your row, and then I'll meet you back. I have completed row 2, and I know I said I was going to start each row at the beginning, but this is the only row where I'm not going to do that because we're still going to work with the blue. So for row 3, you're going to chain 1, turn your work. In the first stitch, you will make a single crochet. In the second stitch, you will make 2 single crochet. In the third, you will make 1 single crochet. And in the fourth, you will make 2 single crochet. So the pattern for this row is 1 single crochet in one stitch, 2 in the next. So complete that all the way down your row and fasten off when you get to the end. All right, so I have completed that row of single crochets and I'm gonna go back to the top of my wind spinner. I've already got a slip knot on my hook. Go into that first stitch, pull up a loop and pull through the loop on your hook. So you're going to chain 1 and then in the same space where you have attached your yarn, you're going to make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 2. And you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Then you'll make a single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2 again, and slip stitch into the next stitch. So complete that all the way down this row, and when you get to the end, you can fasten off with white. I finished my row of white, so now I'm just going to work on spinning this all in one direction. So this is the one spinner. This is how it looks when it's flat. I think it looks so cute. So we're going to be making the sand dollar now. So start with a magic ring. Alternatively, you can chain 4 and slip stitch to the first chain to form a ring. Chain 1 after your magic ring and then make 6 half double crochet inside your ring. And then you're going to pull that tight. All right, so for round 2, we're doing a round of increases. So you will make 2 half double crochets into each of the previous stitches. So at the end of this round, you will have 12 half double crochet. We are on round 3 and we're going to make 1 half double in the first stitch. In the next, you will make 2 half double crochet. And then you're going to repeat that around. For round 4, you're going to make 1 half double in the first 2 stitches. And in the third stitch, you will make 2 half doubles. And that is the pattern for round 4. Okay, that is round 4 complete, and I have 24 stitches, and you will see that it's kind of looking like a bowl. That's fine, because once we seam both pieces together, it'll flatten out. So if yours is doing this weird shape thing, don't worry about it. For round 5, you're going to make 1 half double crochet in the first 3 stitches, and then 2 half double crochet in the 4th stitch. And you will repeat that all the way around. When you get to the end of your row, you can remove your stitch marker, slip stitch into that first stitch, pull up a loop, chain 1, pull up, and cut your yarn to fasten off. You're going to make 2 of these, so make your second and then I'll meet you back here. All right, so I have both of my pieces done. I did weave in that center tail. We're going to begin the edging for our sand dollar. So you're going to take your pieces, you want right side up on each side. You're just going to lay them against each other. So make a slip knot and place it on your hook. So you just want to make sure you're going through a stitch on the first one and a stitch on the back one. It doesn't have to be lined up perfectly. Just pick a random stitch to go into on the first and then go through a stitch on the back, pull up a loop, pull it through the loop that's on your hook, chain 1. In that same space where we just connected, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch back into that same space. So insert your hook into the next stitch, so the front piece of the sand dollar, and then the next stitch on the back piece, pull up a loop, make a single crochet, chain 1, slip stitch back through that same space. We're going to do that all the way around. So I'll show you one more time. Insert your hook through the next stitch in the front and through the next stitch in the back, pull up a loop, make your single crochet, chain 1, slip stitch into that same space. So continue that all the way around and I'll meet you back when we're about to fasten off. All right, so I have gone all the way around with my edging, and as you can see, this has flattened out fairly well. This is one of those times that the phrase trust the process comes into play. So I'm just going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that I made, chain 1, and then I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a bit of a tail to weave in. But now we are going to do this little star looking embellishment. So with the same yarn you were just working with, you're going to thread it through your needle, and you're just going to try your best to make it look like a star. As you can see, there are 5 points and they all go through the center. So just aim for that. And then I went through for each one, I believe 3 times on here. So I get a decent length to work with. And then I am going to start by going in the center on one side and just checking that I'm coming through the center on the other side. And I'm going to pull this through. As you can see, I am pulling a decent amount through. just so I know I have enough to work with for all 5 points of this little star. So I'm going to pull probably more than I need, but then I know I haven't messed up and have to start over. So once you're through the center, you're going to go up about 2 or 3 rows. I'm going to go here, which is the top of row 3, and I'm just going to make sure it is looking like it's going through about the same row on the other side, and I'm going to pull through. So that is the first little arm of one of these star points. So we're back through this side. I'm going to go through the center again, pull it all the way through, and I'm just going to do that a couple more times for that same point, making sure it's entering and exiting through the same space on both sides. Sorry if I'm not keeping that in focus. And one more time for this point. Make sure your sides are equally tight so there isn't like a loose strand. And you're going back through, pulling it through. So that is the first point of the star. I've got 3 strands on this side and 3 on this side. So now that I'm back here, I'm going to try my best just to mimic this. So I'm going to go straight out to the side, about the same amount of rows as this one. So here looks good to me. I'm going to go in, make sure it's about the same on the other side. So right there. And you're just going to do the same thing, go back through the center, make sure it's always coming through the right spot, and just keep embroidering that little star shape. So this is how my sand dollar is looking, and now I just need to weave in these ends. So what you can do to fasten off is go into one of the points and bring it up to the edging. Pull that all the way through, and then weave it through your edging. So the strand coming off of the edging, don't weave that in. We're going to use that to attach it to the body of our wind spinner. So now you're going to grab your wind spinner and your sand dollar. If you're using the beads, grab those. For the beads, we are going to thread them through using the tail yarn from the sand dollar. And if you don't have these, again, don't worry about it. You can always do something different to make it your own. We're going to go to the bottom of the sand dollar. Like I said, I want all of my stitches facing up, and I am going to work into the edging of this white. So I'm just going to insert my needle in there and pull that to where the beads meet the wind spinner. And I'm just going to go around that space a few times with my tail yarn, and then I will make a knot. And then I'm just going to weave my tail in through the wind spinner. So our sand dollar is attached, and now you're just going to grab your little swivel hook or whatever you are using to hang your wind spinner. So with your swivel, you will just attach it anywhere near the top of the wind spinner, like that. So our wind spinner is complete, you guys. Congratulations. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I will be making more versions of wind spinners coming soon. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you get notified when those are uploaded. Let me know what you thought of this one, and if you have any wind spinner theme suggestions you would like to see, leave a comment letting me know what they are. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.